1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
This crisis has taken a toll on every one of us. Lahat, walang exempted dito sa nangyayari sa atin lahat. And this is a worldwide event, worldwide phenomenon that's going on. And most especially here in the Philippines, we are experiencing ang dami daw na nangyayari, ang daming nadidepress, ang daming nakakaroon ng emotional breakdowns, and that's understandable because of what's going on around us. But the thing is that, as what Rick Warren said, one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite pastors, he said, you do not have to waste a hurt. Hindi natin pwede nating gamitin yung mga nangyayari sa buhay natin para magamit natin on a positive note. And that is what we're going to try to do tonight. This pandemic, this thing that's happening all over the world, this thing that has affected our lives for more than a year now, we should not waste this. We don't want this to be happening, and we don't want to continue this to be happening in our lives. But it is here right now. So what we can do at the very least is to learn from this pandemic. So tonight we're going to talk about some life lessons that we have already learned for the past 15 months or 14 months. And what we can still learn from this pandemic. This some life lessons that we can learn from this pandemic. And tonight I have a very, 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 very special guest. One of my favorite people in the world. One of he's definitely younger than myself, than me. But he is, even if he's younger, he is wiser than his age. Definitely wiser than his age. I'm a great fan of this guy. I love what he's doing. I love his charity work. I love what he's doing with his company. His wisdom for us tonight is none other than my very good friend Josh Mahinay. Yeah, Josh.
Hello, magandang hapon sa lahat. I think kuya, sobrang tawag dito, yung introduction mo about me, nakaka-pressure, but I would like to believe that it's the other way around. You know, I've been learning a lot from you since we got friends back in 2004, and it's been a pleasure to be your friend. And thank you so much for having me, inviting me here. I'm excited to have this casual conversation with you, and hopefully we can share some good insights to all who are listening right now and watching right now via YouTube. So magandang hapon, and I can't wait to get started. Have this sharing with you.
Okay, so last week, he introduced to us through his Facebook post something that is thought-provoking. Ito yon. Eventually, later on, I'm going to have this posted. I'm going to post a link dito sa ating YouTube broadcast so that you can go check yourself out about this very thought-provoking lesson. Sabihin natin na this is going to be a pandemic life lesson conversation, because you know what, the reality is that we really can learn a lot from this pandemic, and a lot of us we are undergoing through a lot of storms in life. Yun ang reality nito eh. Marami tayong pinagdadaanan, and dati magkakaroon tayo ng storm, relational storm, or magkakaroon tayo ng financial storm. Pero ngayon parang sabay-sabay, dahil lahat tayo sabay-sabay, dahil all of us are undergoing through a similar journey because of the pandemic. Ikaw, Josh, 1 year after the pandemic, we were into our 13th, 14th month sa pandemic, and you are ahead of a company. You also have your personal, problems siguro. But have you, during this past few months, past year, have you underwent through, or even probably you are still undergoing through some storms in life right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's to start. I think it is true to a lot of people that there were times probably that we wake up in the middle of the night and you sit and pause or just gaze outside and think and wonder, what is the future going to be like for me personally, or for my business if you're an entrepreneur, or the health of my family, I think that it is, kumbaga, it's right to assume that a lot of us, most of us, are going through that or went through that in the past year. And no, I remember back in March 2020, 2 weeks after the announcement of the first community quarantine or the lockdown. It was almost 2 weeks when there was total lack of direction. Just really
Mhm.
observing and feeling the situation. So I remember telling my team na, okay,
Ang
umuwi
gulo
muna
na no?
kayo.
Ang gulo
Yeah,
ng
yeah,
time na yun.
just to make sure that their families are safe and they're safe, and really just feeling the situation because it was very chaotic. So I would say that that kind of caught us really unaware, or maybe caught us in a shocking way. But yeah, definitely. So if you ask me, am I in the same spot right now? I would say that I'm not. And from that spot of confusion to where I am right now, or same with a lot of people, it was a long process, and we can talk
Yeah.
about that long process later. But yeah, definitely, it's safe to say, and it's transparent for me to say that just like any other people, I went through the process also of, confusion, of uncertainties, and anxiety, so to speak, during that time last year.
Totoo yan ha. In fact, I'd say to some degree, almost every one of us, whether you are employed or not, or whether you are just a family man, or kahit sino tayo dyan, lahat tayo kahit pa paano nadaanan natin itong mga
Tama.
bagay-bagay na to during the pandemic. No? Let's go through some of the very interesting thoughts that you shared with us doon sa Facebook post na ginawa mo last week.
1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point with Arnold Gamboa.